working
And
out.
it's also that time for 4Wide, your source for NASCAR betting, busting, banter, and it's your boys, Austin Haas. We got Nate Mallard and Zeke Ellis. Missing Chris Hood today, but he is with us, and thoughts and prayers out
Yeah.
to him. Anyways, boys, we are coming off a real throwback snoozer of a Phoenix race.
Sheesh.
Shocker.
Yeah. As Nate, you
How about that new package,
Yeah,
boys?
how about that new package? Well, it seems that Hendrick made their own package and has been heavily penalized for it as of today. So what is that? Crew chief out for 4 weeks.
100K.
Haas, you all right?
No.
I love
I'm all good.
I love blowing it live, live
Yeah, it's
on,
all good.
on Zoom meeting. But yeah, it's a $100,000 penalty to the crew chief too, I think. No,
It just says Hendrick is. I don't know. I guess does that mean the crew chief is fined himself like a driver would be? They expect.
I would think Hendrick would just
Okay.
would cover
pay
that. Yeah.
That's probably what, like, you'd say 20% of a crew chief's salary, give or take, at
Yeah.
Hendrick.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I would imagine a crew chief probably makes. I bet that'd be like a third of his. Probably. I don't know. Probably 300.
I'll say at least over $500,000.
You think a crew chief is making over 500?
I think so.
Damn.
As well at Hendrick specifically.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean,
So, but Denny was on here too. What was that about?
He just admitted, like, yeah,
I put
I
him
took
in the wrong.
Ross out because I wanted to.
Oh. So just okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
Damn.
I mean, it took him what 4 episodes, Austin, to literally do the
To
time.
get a penalty
Well,
from his podcast.
Yeah.
I think this is his. This is going to be a turning point season for Denny because him having this platform and him like leaning into being more open about this stuff, I think is gonna. Hopefully, he doesn't scale back because of this. Because I'm obviously liking what he's doing, but that kind of sucks. But I mean, I get it. I mean, if he's admitted that he was like, yeah, I haven't listened to Denny's show yet, but. Wild stuff.
Well, listen, you can do it. I mean, it's just don't tell people you did it. Like,
Yeah, that's the number one rule in NASCAR is
Yeah.
you can do it, just don't tell anyone.
Imagine Denny Hamlin losing the championship because of his podcast.
Yeah.
He misses the playoffs
Imagine being
because
suspended.
he's had like 10 penalties from his podcast.
Yeah, he didn't make the points cut, even though he won. Wins a
However, he's
race.
number one on Apple, so
Yeah.
what really matters?
yeah, Larry Mack's like, I just don't understand it. How can he
So,
do it?
Big snoozy weekend. Old wide Bill Byron. Back at it again.
That's Nate. Nate's probably never seen me like about that mad at timeout. Fucking whenever that goddamn caution came out, which again. Like Harrison Burton, I want to strangle you. Just kidding. But at the same time, like I told Nate, I was like, someone is just gonna just blow it. I mean, and he was on the front stretch. He wasn't even like in a turn, or he just lost it. Like just the ass in the car came around. I was like, man, they just don't want my boy to win. However, though he is second in points. So
He might be first after this penalty.
that is true. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, was it a boring race? Yeah, but kind of like you said last week, I mean, I would rather have that than just a slog of cautions, even though the last caution. And also, man, I'm sick and tired of this last, like, how many has it been now? 4 out of the last 5. I'm sorry, 3 out of the last 4 have been decided by shootouts so far, right? I think only one race hasn't been a shootout this year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know how you fix it, but
Yeah.
I mean, is it better to do like the old days where you finish under caution and see a bunch of rednecks throwing beer cans on the track? Probably not.
Just booing everyone.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just sucks to see like his car come alive and then just take it away, and then just to get it taken away from him by cars that were just a lot faster off the line. But I don't know. I mean, I thought it wasn't a bad race, but I thought the finish, like all the other ones, really this year have been kind of crap. But whatever.
I had
What about you?
I had high hopes for the package, and I was significantly let down.
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, like the cars look better. I mean, they were higher. They were higher up off the ground, like I wanted. I just don't understand. Like I don't know. I mean, you change too many things, and things stick, and then things don't. I don't know. I'm thankfully I'm not in that position to try that stuff out.
Yeah, I think the next thing they need to do, well, they'll never do power, but they need to do something about these gear ratios to, especially at these short tracks. You miss a corner, you just grab a gear, not lose any momentum at all.
Yeah,
I mean, can't pass anybody like that. So
yeah. Well, how did we fare out there? Thank God Kevin Harvick squeaked back into the top 5 to prevent me going 0 for 2 on all my bets the last 2 weeks. So, but Haas, you did all right. Our
yeah,
boy Ricky did
Tyler
not.
Reddick showed up and helped me out. So
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that bet. I was like, damn, he's gonna hit that. And yeah, Tyler Reddick was a sleeper pick for sure. I was really impressed with the way he ran. I was, I think looking back at it before that caution, I was definitely going to hit Harvick to win, and I think Kyle Busch top 5 too. He was, I think, either 5th or 6th place, so he would have had a shot. But once they all got, the grid caught back up and shuffled up, I had no chance. But I'm 1 for 9. Real ass better hours here.
I don't want to jump ahead too far, but I don't want to forget to talk about this because I'm looking at what Caesars has up, and it's they. First of all, they don't have any top 10s, don't have any top 5s. They have top 3s though. But then there's a all to finish top 10 bet, so they must also be listening to the podcast because it is Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. plus
all the boys are
230.
here.
That is the shittiest bet. That is the shittiest odds I've ever heard. By the end of the season, this is not going to exist anymore. NASCAR betting is going to be so watered down that it is not even going to be worth it.
Yeah, everything's gonna be
plus 230 for all 3 of them to finish in the top 10. That is,
I mean, 2 out of
that
3
is absurd.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 is pretty good chance.
Sounds like a donation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll probably hit.
Right?
Yeah,
Well, I guess, you know what, though? I didn't think about the fact that Atlanta is like a little mini super speedway now. So
Ricky's
that's
got
why
a
Ricky's
shot.
in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if we're talking about how many is it? Will this be the 3rd race with the new Atlanta?
Yes.
So, okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys have saw like the suicide intro into pit road.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
I
very
mean,
interesting.
I think it's better than trying to come off a turn 4 and doing it with how narrow Atlanta is. At least on the backstretch, you have a little room to move and get out of the way and slow down.
Yeah, it's just I feel like someone. I mean, at least in turn 4, when you normally do it, like you're going kind of down. So if you lock it up, you're gonna still go down. This is gonna be interesting because if someone locks it up or goes over speed and tries to get on the brakes hard, they're gonna go right back up into traffic.
Ends out riding from the field.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I think this race is definitely going to be another dice roll. I mean, I don't know what to really. I don't know who's going to be good here. Like, Ryan Blaney, but besides that,
The fool's errand.
yeah.
But again, we're going to a track that has Hendrick has won the last 2 races there. Is it going to be another Kyle
I'm going
Williams?
to put the asterisk on those Hendrick wins, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those illegal hood louvers, you don't know how that's probably worth what, 20, 30 horsepower.
Well, I'm talking about at Atlanta though.
Yeah, I mean, they won both the races last year, but there's a bunch of guys in the mix. Ross was fast in both. Suarez was fast in both. LaJoy had speed in both. Had a shot to win Atlanta before Chase Elliott said, "No, sir."
Yeah.
Put him in the wall. But with this new repave, I just want to make sure in practice that it's still like super speedway smooth. Because if the track is getting abrasive and these guys have to lift, we're for getting back into a classic 1.5 mile race.
Right.
But as of now, I'm treating it like a super speedway. I'm just looking at longer odds guys. My betting philosophy for super speedways is to not like throw my money at like one or two guys, just try to spread it around and hopefully break even if I have to bet. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's. I don't know what. It's just looking very. Yeah, I guess I just throw out a bunch of top threes and kind of see what sticks and
Yeah.
hope you break even.
Yeah.
But I mean, practice is going to be huge. Qualifying is going to be huge this week. We're not going to, we're not going to get any odds until 9:00 on Saturday, probably. After that,
we may want to like try and do like a later podcast Saturday because we sat here for like almost an hour and a half before we started.
yeah, but I mean it's
This track,
know.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just it's they're gonna have to figure it out, and it's gonna take them a minute, especially if something weird goes on.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the like? I mean, is the trend on like betting this shit like going up? Because I feel like in years past, 2 or 3 years, when we were like sitting in bets to to do, I feel like it was like much more like I guess finite would be the word. Now it's just like like you said, the odds are just like hilariously bad. Like I think they're starting to figure out that like so like these dumb rednecks are just throwing $20 and winning $100 off of it. Like and there's no real good way to call it.
I mean, Eric Jones plus 1,100. That's not a bad top three.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he hasn't really shown up yet this year. I mean, Brad seems to be figuring stuff out, which is nice, but stuff that I don't know. I just don't know what the trend is this year. If this is just going to be, like I said in the group chat, like if this is about to be the Hendrick show every week, I'm turning in the keys, bro.
I don't know. I mean, it's.
I'm going to join Chris Hood.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help out odds. Well, I'm sorry, well, not odds. It doesn't help out content if we're just the same, two guys. Well, even three, that are just like up front every single week for them. It's just like I don't know. Is it with the cars this close to parity though? Like, what do they have? I mean, if it is Austin said, is it the lose?
Yeah.
But they ran. I mean, they ran without him, right? They let him use him in practice, right? And then they had to take him out.
Is that NASCAR gave him spec ones to use for the race.
So, I mean, I don't know. Was it a combination of that track being clean air is king and them just being good, or is it? Or does Hendrick like just have some secret sauce in these cars? I don't know, but it is wild just to watch them just pull away because they're going to qualify good no matter. I mean, have either one of those two had bad qualifying days? No. It doesn't matter what track. So, I mean, are they both talented drivers? Sure, but I mean, even the second half of last year, William Byron, yes, he was getting a lot better, but I mean, it's a pretty stout jump for him to make, like. From that to this, am I wrong to say that?
He was hot last year.
Yeah,
he won like 2 of the first 4 or 5 races too last year. Then disappeared after Logano punted him at Darlington. So,
well, I'm wrong then. Like always, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt, everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, and that might be the thing. I mean, maybe Hendrick is just like, let's lock it in, and then we can chill. It's always seemed like they don't have the same, kind of, I don't know if drive is the right word, but, like Joey Logano's not going to go out there and fucking back it off just because he won a race. But William Byron, he might try to save some stuff,
I don't know. I mean, with this penalty now and Chase Elliott's going to miss a few more races, I mean, they might have to go. I know Byron's still locked in, but he just lost pretty much all of his playoff points.
Yeah.
And that's that's always a big deal come playoff time. So
And,
I wouldn't think they're going to be resting like they normally would. So expect 6 more weeks of 5 and the 24 up
It's like
front.
Groundhog's Day.
yeah, interesting
Mike
though.
Joy yelling at us for watching the race.
Mike Joy calling us a bunch of keyboard warriors out there. All these podcasters complaining about the commercials.
Interesting.
I don't even know what a podcast is.
Yeah, what the hell is this Coke? What the hell is this Coke Zero shit? But
It's
interesting.
pretty good.
Yeah, so what's interesting is since 2020, the best team average is Trackhouse though. Trackhouse, then Penske, then Joe Gibbs, 23, then Hendrick. So that's
What?
yeah.
Since
20,
at Atlanta.
yeah, since 20. Well, it's at any super speedway.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's
No. I'm sorry. That's Atlanta. I'm sorry. Top 10 averages at Atlanta since February of 2020. Trackhouse has the best. Then Penske. Then Joe
Yeah, I guess
Gibbs.
when you only have two cars, your
But,
bell curve isn't very wide.
Yeah.
However, Hendrick has the most wins of 2, with Penske having 1. So, and which is weird. Like that Store Haas isn't even up there. So they're not. I don't think they've ever done that well at Atlanta. I could be wrong, but I don't ever remember seeing them like run very high up there. Besides the GOAT Kevin Harvick just dragging that shitty team along with him. So, but I mean, I don't know. You guys got anything else to say about last week at all, or you want to start putting out some feelers for this week?
I will say it was sort of like a throwback snoozer race,
Yeah.
and the very like 99 Phoenix-esque, where some guy's going to dominate, be ahead by 8 seconds, and there'll be a couple passes throughout the field, but largely nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will say, like, maybe we're spoiled expecting all these great races all the time. They're all not going to be great. Sometimes you just got to enjoy the snooze when you get it.
Yeah, especially coming off of last season where it was, every week was just something crazy different. So
Yeah. I mean, and then you can look back, you can go back and look at finishes in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, and you can look and the lead lap might have 4 cars on it. It's like, that race was a bore. Like you can look at Darlington in the 80s, and there'll be like 10 cars on the lead lap, and the winner won by like 5 seconds. Like nothing close. So yeah, it's like looking at rose-colored glasses. But I mean, the cars are definitely. So I think parity is a good thing for sure, but it's wild that they can still have this kind of gap between drivers. But I guess that's with any spec car series. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean it wasn't the best race, but it certainly wasn't the worst race I've seen at Phoenix. Like you said, Austin.
Yeah, just give me more power, fix the gears, and put back the feet cam in the cockpit there.
I need to see the heel toes up and close.
Yeah, shout out Ricky Rudd on that. I mean, what's wild is so at the road courses, they would run those brakes backwards. That way they would permanently kind of drag. And you had to pump the fuck at them because the brake fluid would be, I don't know, probably 300 fucking degrees. It would just be boiling the entire time.
I mean, you got some soup in the brake lines.
Pretty much. When is the first road course? It's coming up soon, right?
It's Coda coming up soon.
Okay, yeah. That one's going to be another interesting pick, lock of the century of the week as well.
I'm picking all the F1 guys.
Ricky Rudd?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ricky. Yeah. Dude, I'm honestly surprised that Ricky hasn't come back to one, or I'm sorry, to at least race one, one race every now and then. I mean, why not? Did they ever put him in a SRX car? I wonder. I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think dude's 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he's probably still out there, doing something though. I mean, a lot of those old guys though, they'll still go race local tracks though,
Yeah, Coda is the weekend after Atlanta.
But yeah, I mean, Austin, they're never going to give us any more power ever again. I mean, because those, if they were making 200 plus miles an hour races in the late 80s averages, I don't think they can build a tire first of all, with these thin, these thin tires that they're having to do now. So I mean, they're already having so many tire problems. I mean, if you give them power and give them 30, 40 more 30 or 40 more miles an hour, there's no way these tires stand up to that at all. I mean, I could be wrong,
I bet Hoosier could build one. Shouts out BBC for that take.
That's right.
Fantastic. I think Slap Shoes did one. Austin knows who that is, but that guy did a pretty good episode. They did a tire wars. I think it was at some. I think it might have been at Dega where like Goodyear was like brought some tires, and I think I think Hoosier brought some tires or maybe it was Firestone. I can't remember, but that like the drivers were like, we're all scared right now because none of these tires are working. They're flying apart. like we don't feel safe at all. I mean, that was so that and then that was also the reason why the very first Talladega race was so fucking hilarious. You ever heard this story?
No.
They couldn't build a tire good enough for the cars to go at Talladega, so it was like I think 4 or 5 like cup drivers. It was
an impromptu drivers union formed and said, "Hey, we're not running this race." So literally, Bill France got a bunch of like anybody who had a car and just put them out there for the race. Like that's how Childress got his first Cup start. I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, like, they made a drivers NASCAR had a union. Well, it didn't last very long. In this version of it, let's say, but every driver but like 4 or 5 of them, and I think they were all. I think everyone but one of them was like a winged Superbird car, I think, or something like, or a variant, and they were racing like Mustangs and Camaros, so cars that weren't even in the class at all. Of like the Sunday cars were just racing around Talladega.
So if all of this tells you how good the race at Phoenix was this past week, that should be your indication if we're talking about the first Talladega race.
Let's look ahead. I mean, I really enjoyed both of the new Atlanta races. I think it's really fun to watch in general on TV. I think it looks really cool. I'm worried that if Hendrick is staying the hell out there, that we're just gonna. It could be another snoozer. But the better news is that there's a much better chance of fucking it at Atlanta than there is at Phoenix. So hopefully, because there was, again, 2 cautions in that race on Sunday?
Yeah, the Harrison Burton one. And what was the first one? It was I think it was just a spin. I
don't know. I feel like but anyway, they're so non-memorable that... it just has been which I guess is great, right? You don't want, from a driver safety standpoint, right? You don't want just like go out and screw it up. But Atlanta definitely has the potential to be more interesting for us. So,
I sent you guys those top 10 odds from FanDuel. They seem to have the best odds or bettors out there.
Preachy boy.
Corey LaJoy, 5 to 1 for a top 10 seems like a steal. So
I mean, you just don't know.
I'm also on Ty Gibbs 6 to 1. Those are the 2 I played. So
nice. Well, if we've learned anything, it's get it in early if you have a hankering, because the line is going to change.
Our $100 picks is definitely not the way to gamble. Waiting till after practice and qualifying and only using one book. I will say, if you're trying to make money, at least shop some odds on compare between a few different books.
Yeah, just use our picks, but whoever's gonna obviously like the better odds, take that. I'm excited for Atlanta again. Hopefully they don't, like you said. I wonder what the tire wear is going to be. We'll see. I really, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is the one that is gonna determine, like, there's so many more factors. Like these first races besides Daytona are not set in stone, but there's a lot more going for them. This one, the track's still kind of new. I think there's a lot more chance for variation, especially for like manufacturers. Like, I think it wouldn't be a bad. I mean, I hope Hendrick doesn't come out and win this one. I think Ford Manufacturing might be a pretty good bet for this one as well, because I know looking at the top 10 set or finishes, there's a few more Fords up there, than there were the last, the previous races. So I don't know. There's that.
I'm hearing people say that it's Toyota's turn.
Ooh.
Well, that's what the sports book is saying, which means it's probably going to hit because it ain't paying shit. I think I'm going to stick with this weird stuff this week. I mean, just looking at Caesars here, both to finish top 5, Blaney and Byron, plus 600. That's pretty decent. But
The brother-in-law boost.
yeah, get the boost. Get the boost.
See, I tried to get. Are you using Caesars right now on the laptop?
Yeah.
I see. It wouldn't let me. It only lets me use it like my phone, like as the app. I can't access it.
See, I can't seem to get it to work on the app. But anyway,
Wow.
the woes of trying to sports bet in a state that's not legal.
Yeah. Give us weed. Give us fucking sports betting. Come on. I mean,
I'd go back to no alcohol sales before 11 a.m. on Sundays if we could get.
hell yeah.
Trade offer.
Yeah.
What a small
For that
price
reason,
to pay.
I am in.
What a small price to pay.
Let's see some championship wheelmen get in the mix this weekend.
Yeah. What is that? Championship wheelman. Yeah, the parlay. I'm hitting that. I'm about to send that right now to Zach.
What is
Lock
that?
it in.
It's Joey to win and Verstappen to win in Saudi
Oh, okay.
Arabia. Max bet. That's my only bet. $100.
Yep.
Let me get it.
This is only partially related to NASCAR at all, but
It's half and half. I mean, it would be fun. I mean, what are we looking at Xfinity wise on
Austin Hill's the big favorite.
Yeah.
He's like plus 400-ish.
I was looking too. How do we feel about old Dylan in this one, or Austin Dylan in this one? Austin. I feel like he does okay at these bigger tracks. I say that,
He
but,
seems to show up
and then blow it.
uninvited, annoyingly so.
I know he's got a chance. Yeah, he has a chance of just being a pest at these tracks. So,
Expect half my card to be March Madness bets. So
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do?
I'm going to sit back and enjoy this race.
I'm probably going to throw a parlay just for funsy with that top 5, Blaney, Byron, and Austin Hill to win the Xfinity race, plus 3,400.
ooh,
I feel like I got to do something. I got to spread my roll around here.
I need to diversify.
But
my
thank God
investments.
I leaned heavy on Harvick this week, or I would have had nothing.
I'm telling you, I feel Chris's pain last week. I was going to actually break even, and the cruel NASCAR god said throw it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Let's just run the 98 rules package from here on out. No more overtime, no more playoffs.
That's what's wild, though. Yeah, again, I love it. Like that's the one thing I love about like the NASCAR subreddit is they'll do the point system, and then they'll do the old school point system, and that makes me even fucking more mad because like Kevin Harvick should have had like 3 or 4 championships if you use the old point system.
Does anyone know what does William Byron do for fun? Does he golf with Denny? Does he go out in Charlotte? I think he lives in Uptown Charlotte, probably.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's like in Charlotte.
He strikes me as a bowler like us.
His
What do you think?
parents live like down the street from Rick, so
Okay.
that's the kind of like money William Byron is coming from.
Yeah, that.
Well, anyone that's good enough to hop right in a real cup car had to have a hell of a simulator
yeah.
to be running iRacing on.
Didn't they show off his like during the iRacing shit, and his was pretty fucking slick if I remember right. I mean they're all nice, but his look.
Was it Clint? Did Clint race? Was that his last season when they were doing the iRacing?
I think it was Clint because
his was literally like a IKEA desk with like a Logitech wheel.
Yeah,
Like
I'm pretty sure he was just like drinking beer too.
he was like, this obviously isn't serious.
Yeah, he's just drinking.
I'm just here so I
did
won't
a
get
quick
fined.
scroll on William Byron's Instagram. Turns out he likes eating hot dogs and telling people what he thinks about them.
No, come on. Come on. By the way, it's the same weekend as Beach Bash, but I think if I can scoot up to Martinsville, that might be a hot dog review.
I'll go with you.
Ooh-wee. Keep your eyes peeled.
I'll
Watch this space.
I'll probably be dead because we're volunteering at the beer garden on Saturday. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm doing that too. But I'll go with you though. I'll suffer with you. Martinsville's a fun track.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
We'll see how the short track package goes.
But I mean,
New package, old package, doesn't matter.
it's worse.
Gonna be a snooze.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what William Byron does. Maybe he's like a horse guy. You think he's like a horse guy?
Nah, he's not. If anything, he's like, who has their pilot's license? LaJoy? Who's always hopping in the plane on his Instagram?
The old guys,
Chase.
the old guys all had pilot's licenses. Like almost all of them, like flew it. Like a bunch of them, if I'm not mistaken, right, Austin? Like a bunch of them, like flew in, like especially like during the 80s and 70s. Hell, they would just land outside the track. Nate, like just drive, like just pilot their Cessna in and just walk over to the racetrack and throw their shit on and drive.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that picture of Byron eating the hot dog to be our show image this week.
Is he really a hot dog guy, you think?
He's going to town on the glizzy.
Yeah, I mean,
his only 3 like off-season activity posts were 2 golfing and 1 on a ski lift. So
yeah,
I could see skiing being. He's got skiing money for sure.
Yeah, that's like one of those sports that I just looked at it and I was like, that's just not for me. First of all, I have no business being on something like that. Second of all, I mean, I have the coordination of just like a drunk hobo. So just no chance at all of me like getting on any sort of thing that goes fast that I can't like have brakes. Car
all
fine,
gas, no brakes.
yeah, but I mean, I'll go tubing, but I ain't skiing or snowboarding.
I need to stay low to the ground.
Well, yeah, I mean, injury rate probably similar, but
I mean, tubing was better back in the day when they got the tubes off the ground. They had a little
no downforce.
William probably still lives at home on the lake, just saving his millions.
With mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is
yeah.
He's probably only 25, 26.
Yeah, I think if you're like that rich, like if you're like that rich, like living with your mom and dad isn't even an issue.
Yeah,
like,
just write it off, dude. You get a whole wing at the house.
Yeah, just like you bring home a girl and you're like, yeah,
wide wing William.
Yeah, my mom and my dad are in the other wing.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much on his Instagram here. I want to find these drivers' Finstas.
Yeah, they live so close. So it's like we should just start stalking them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's just start driving around Lake Norman. Just take the boat up there and throw eggs at Kyle Busch's boat.
Just sit outside like the dock and say, technically, we're not like on your property. This is owned by Duke.
I'm here fishing.
Yeah. And
come and stop me.
We've got like a little kids ride, like just like a little just a little kids ride. We don't see any rides. You just hold it up and like we're totally here. We're just taking a break.
Yeah.
You can't say anything.
Well, guys,
I'm sure they'll say something.
Lock it in early. If we've learned anything, if you got a hunch, I'm definitely locking in that Verstappen.
Yeah, cards are going to get wacky this week.
Yeah,
we're throwing darts, baby.
Wacky Racers.
Yeah,
it's back.
Mm-hmm.
A great television show, by the way.
So tune in for happy hour on Saturday. We'll have the cards up and follow along. Let us know what how you're doing, and if you're doing anything. If you're seeing something we're not, we'd love to know about it.
Your race day activities, like what's your rituals? Like like what do you like to do for the race? Are you?
I used to
sleep halfway during stage 1, waking up sometime in stage 3.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's been lately.
That's my dad. That was my dad for literally the entire 90s. So whatever.
Like good Sunday nap.
Yeah, wake up. There's like 10 laps left. You're like, oh, now it's getting interesting.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, we'll see you Saturday. Unless you guys got anything else to add, we'll get you our sneaky sneaky weird cards for this weird mini super speedway on Sunday. And make sure you like the YouTube, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, anywhere else, Spotify, and tell your friends. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's where we keep the cards. That's where the money is.
Tell your uncle. That's the main thing. That's the uncle is the NASCAR wheelhouse.
We are geared for uncles.
We are.
Big uncle content.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably couldn't figure out how to watch this, but they would definitely enjoy
I can
it.
figure out a YouTube link.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
just pops right up.
But the boys are back on the East Coast where they belong. I'm sorry, California and the West Coast. Sorry, but they're back home in the Southeast where they belong. But yeah, see y'all Saturday. This has been a fun one.
Peace out.